even the basic things that Krishna says, what we call basic, the devotees always enjoy hearing about Krishna. So whether we're on the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam or the 10th canto, for the devotee it's all nectar, and according to his realization he can experience different tastes in that hearing. So just like if you go to school, if you're in your secondary school yet? Have you started secondary school? Just not yet?
No, we're in
Primary. But if you went down to year 1 and you were with the younger children and they started doing very basic arithmetic that you already know very well, you would still enjoy it because you would then realize how much you've learned in that 5 years at school, how much you've progressed from the little ones who were just learning how to read the alphabet and pronounce Adiguru, ABC and all that. So that's always nice to be able, from perspective, to see where you were one day 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, or 30 years ago, and where you are now, and how much you're able to think of Krishna. Because Krishna consciousness means just to think of Krishna all the time, as much as possible. So whatever I was going to say today, I have to adjust. That's my point today, because usually we don't have so many brand new guests. But anyway, I'll stick to the same verse that we're going to talk about. This is from the 13th chapter, and we'll just repeat the Sanskrit. It's chapter 22, with just the invocation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Now it's very important for everyone, devotees and new people, to understand that the Bhagavad Gita is the foundation. It's the rock solid foundation on which all the Vedas are built, actually, because it's Krishna's summary. It's called the Gita Upanishad. It's the summary or the essence of all Vedic knowledge is here in Bhagavad Gita. So when you read these other books, you see we've got a lot of books. But when the explanation is there on the verse, Prabhupada's purport, we call it, then what does he do? In nearly every purport, the first thing he does is quote Bhagavad Gita. I mean, I don't know the percentage, the data. So whenever you come to any philosophical point, first thing you do is, what did Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita about this point? And then you can understand how the Bhagavatam is just an expansion of the Bhagavad Gita. So, in this important verse, Krishna says, Purusha prakritisto hi bhunte prakriti jan gunan kadanam guna sangosha sadasa joni janmasu. Please repeat the word for word after me. Purusha,
Purusha,
the living entity.
the living entity.
Prakritista,
Prakritista,
being situated
being situated
in the material energy.
in the material energy.
He certainly Bhunte
Bhunte
enjoys Prakritijan,
Prakritijan,
produced by
produced by
the material nature.
the material nature.
Gunan,
Gunan,
the modes of nature.
the modes of nature.
Karanam,
Karanam,
the cause.
the cause.
Guna Sangaha,
Guna Sangaha,
the association
the association
with the modes of nature.
with the modes of nature.
Asya,
Asya,
of the living entity.
of the living entity.
Sat, asat,
Sat asat,
in good and bad.
in good and bad.
Joni,
Joni,
species of life.
species of life.
Janmasu,
Janmasu,
in births.
in birth.
We'll put that all together, and this is a translation. I'll just read it myself first. The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life. enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus he meets with good and evil among various species. Please repeat. The living entity, in material nature, thus follows the ways of life. Enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus he meets with good and evil among various species. I will just read the purport quite swiftly. This is a commentary on the verse. This verse is very important for an understanding of how the living entities transmigrate from one body to another. It is explained in the second chapter that the living entity is transmigrating from one body to another just as one changes dress. This change of dress is due to his attachment to material existence. As long as he is captivated by this false manifestation, he has to continue transmigrating from one body to another. Due to his desire to lord it over material nature, he is put into such undesirable circumstances. Under the influence of material desire, the entity is born sometimes as a demigod, sometimes as a man, sometimes as a beast, sometimes as a bird, sometimes as a worm, as an aquatic, as a saintly man, as a bug. This is going on. And in all cases, the living entity thinks himself to be the master of his circumstances, yet he is under the influence of material nature. How he is put into such different bodies is explained here. It is due to association with the different modes of nature. One has to rise, therefore, above the three material modes and become situated in the transcendental position. That is called Krishna consciousness. Unless one is situated in Krishna consciousness, his material consciousness will oblige him to transfer from one body to another because he has material desires since time immemorial. But he has to change that conception. That change can be effected only by hearing from authoritative sources. The best example is here. Arjuna is hearing the science of God from Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita here, this book. The living entity is a conversation between Arjuna and Krishna, this book. And Arjuna's asking questions and Krishna's answering them. And this is the whole book, is this conversation. It's mainly Krishna speaking. So Arjuna's representing the living entity, all of us, and Krishna, he's presenting himself as a supreme person, the supreme being, and as a supreme being he has the most knowledge. His knowledge is actually unlimited, but he's a supreme authority. It means that he knows better than anybody else what is the best thing for everybody, what is real knowledge, etc., etc., etc. So the living entity, if he submits to this hearing process, will lose his long cherished desire to dominate material nature, and gradually and proportionately, as he reduces his long desire to dominate, he comes to enjoy spiritual happiness. In a Vedic mantra, it is said that as he becomes learned in association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he proportionately relishes his eternal blissful life. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Purusho Prakritisto hi punkte Prakriti Jan Gunan Karanam Guna Sangasha Sadasat Joni Janmasu Oma Jnana Timidandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksusun Viditam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. As explained here, living entity is pure spirit soul, and He's been existing always. We've always been existing as individuals with pure consciousness. Just like the rain in the clouds, just before it falls, it's very pure and clean, the water. But when it hits the mud, it becomes contaminated. So we're like that. We're very pure. Our consciousness is very wonderful. But when we come down to this material world and take a material body, then we are covered over by different modes of nature. Now this universe is created by God, and one of the ingredients of creation is the pradhan. It's called the pradhan, which is the unmanifested matter. It's just earth, water, fire, all these things. Actually, before it's even arranged into all these different elements, it's just kind of one matter. It's just one energy, and it's matter. And when it's agitated by the glance of God, it becomes all wonderfully manifested into all these universes, which are in their base form earth, water, fire, air, ether, etc. And then there's subtle elements, mind and intelligence. You know, have you got a mind, Pet Poppy? Yeah? Can you see my mind? Yeah. Where is it? In my head, yeah. You can't really see the mind or the intelligence. You know, the little mosquito is such a tiny creature. And in India, there's many mosquitoes. And what they do is they hide in your room. They hide all day. And then they know that when the night time comes and it's dark and there's no more movement in the room, that means they can come out. And they can fly around, and they can land, and they can bite you, suck your blood. So, but it's so tiny creature. Its body is made of the same elements as our body, and it has intelligence. Otherwise, how does it know to sleep? How does it know to hide? Very intelligent, but such a tiny
little thing.
Little thing, yeah. So every living being has intelligence. So what Krishna is saying is that the pure soul, he takes on different dresses. This body is also a dress, and it's changing. So it changes from one body to another, and it takes on a mosquito body, a bird body, a fish body, a bird body, a demigod in the heavenly planet's body, and so many bodies. And in each of these bodies it has intelligence, and it has innate tendency to enjoy. Every living being. You see a little puppy, a little kitten, it runs around and jumps. And I've been to India, and in India there's hogs, these kind of pigs. Yes, you have a question?
Dogs.
Pigs.
Just go and take a puppy.
Like a boar.
Just go and
Like a boar, you know, but it's a wild street pig, you know, it lives out on the street. And it's got these tiny little babies. And they're just hogs, you know, they eat bad things. They don't eat very nice things. They eat the sewage that runs in the street. But they're running around trying to enjoy, they're all happy little. And then the old hogs the mummy hogs she's had enough. And she's tired. But the little kids, see? One time I'm driving through the lanes in Somerset, and these swifts and swallows, I could never tell the difference. They were enjoying flying with the vehicle. You know, when you drive, they go in front of you and they do all this amazing acrobatics. So every living entity has a tendency to enjoy and be happy. That's the proof that the soul, that life is blissful, life is full of enjoyment. You just see the animals, they have this tendency to enjoy. And enjoyment means mainly eating and sleeping, mating and defending. Even the mosquito has sex desire. He wants to meet female mosquito and have baby children. You see, and the lower the species, the more children they have. You see the spider, it plants hundreds and hundreds, has hundreds of little spider children, right?
Yeah.
So, and the lower the species, more children. Then you go up, human beings have 3 children, maybe 5, maybe 10 in the old days. And the demigods, they only have one child. And that child comes ready, teenager, already an adolescent when it appears. So this is the way of nature, and the soul is moving from one birth to another, bhutva bhutva praliyate, and it is suffering all the time actually, because it has to go old. And you know, young people, they're full of life. You see young 16, 17-year-olds, everything's fantastic, and then reality comes in. As they get older, they have to go to work, earn money, and it's all miserable. Then you get old, and you have to cope with diabetes and all these problems. So the soul is not meant to be in this material world. And I was talking about the creation before, I didn't finish. You know, when you give class, you digress and you forget your points, where you're going, unless you're an expert speaker or kind of really earthed. I'm not an earth person. So anyway, the matter is agitated by the glance of Krishna, and that glance is the three modes of nature. The three modes of nature. So this creation is called bhava, not bhava, but bhava. It's made up of three modes of nature, goodness, passion and ignorance. So ignorance means, if we see a human being, the quality of a human being, in ignorance he's very lazy, he sleeps a lot, he takes intoxication, he doesn't do very much, and he wastes his life. But in the mode of passion, which is a little higher than the mode of ignorance, he's up at 5 a.m, he's at the commuter station in Sevenoaks or Radley or Reading, and he's queuing up with all their gentlemen going into the city. I live near the M1 in M25 area, and at 5 a.m. that you hear the roll of the traffic starts, builds up, you know, and you in the summer you leave your window open. 5 a.m. they are boom, 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 endless. Then if you go and join them, you're in this traffic jam, 2 hours, 3 hours, get to London, go to work. This is a mode of passion. They're very eager to maintain their lives and try to enjoy the material world. But you see, a human being is not meant to live like an animal, and is not meant to try to enjoy this material world. But he's meant to become to the higher mode of nature, which is the mode of goodness. And the characteristic of the mode of goodness is this knowledge that we're spirit, soul, we're not the body, and we are transforming from one body to another. So one time we had a little child's body. Poppy, remember when you were a little girl? So now that body, where's that body gone now?
In a bigger body?
Yeah, it's changed, isn't it?
Yeah.
So then our bodies are changing from one life to another. When this body is finished, you have to go into another womb of another mummy and take birth again. But this process of changing bodies is not nice. So in the spiritual world, you get a permanent body. Just like a mother, Yashoda, Krishna has a mother. So she's eternally in love with Krishna as her son, and he eternally loves his mother, and they have an eternal relationship of exchange of loving affection. But here in this world, our relationships are cut short, or they're transformed by time. Therefore, this nice little child grows up, and when they get to 12, they start being cheeky. And then at 13, 14, they start to get very naughty.
I'm already cheeky.
Yeah, I can see that. And then sometimes they have fight, and then they grow up, and sometimes, you know, one of the most worst things in this world is ungratefulness. Is that the right word? Ungratefulness or ingratefulness?
Ungrateful.
Very good, thank you. So one of the main principles of being a human being is to be grateful. And you have to always respect your parents, even when you become very old. You have to always give them love and affection, and you have to give them gifts and look after them. This is done in India very nicely. In India, they really respect their mummy and daddy and their grandparents and all these things. So Krishna, he loves this if you're grateful. So we also have to be grateful to God, to Krishna, because he's given us all the nice things in our life that we enjoy. And one of the things he says is that Rasoham Apsukuntaya. Rasoham means I am the taste. So whenever you eat food, why is it tasty? Because it has got water in it, actually. It's the water, the rasa, the juice within the food that carries the main taste. So that's why when you eat something very dry, like some dry bread, or someone burns the food and all the water is extracted, the taste is very bad. So taste is Krishna himself. Rasoham, I am the taste. So whenever you eat, that enjoyment, pleasure for your tongue, that is Krishna's mercy. So that's why when we eat, you see even in the Christian culture, they say, before they eat, they say
Grace before me.
grace, they call it in America, they call it grace. So they always pray, thank you God for this food that we're about to eat. So in India, they offer the food to God before they eat it. But God is a vegetarian, so you cannot offer him non-veg. So Krishna is so kind that he gives his taste. So if he's so powerful that he becomes the taste of all these beautiful things that our tongue enjoys, just think how wonderful he is in the spiritual world when he's actually present before you. Krishna's the sum total of all beauty. This word Sangha is there. Sangha means to associate. So Krishna is Saundarya Sangraham. All beauty meets in Krishna's form. He's very beautiful. And he's so beautiful that when you see him, you feel like you're drinking nectar through the eyes. And when you hear his words in Bhagavad Gita, it's like nectar for the ear, for the hearing facility. So, and when you eat Krishna's food that's been offered to Krishna is nectar for the tongue. So it's all nectar. But the point is you have to do the satsang. It's a very famous expression. We don't use it so much in ISKCON, but satam prasangam. So if you associate with someone who's got a disease, infectious disease, then what happens? Poppy, what happens? Say someone's got a cold at school and you sit next to them. What will happen? Yeah, you get it. You catch it. Exactly. Exactly. So this material world, if you go out and hang out with people who drink alcohol, you're going to drink alcohol. If you go and hang out with people who take drugs, you're going to take drugs. If you go out and hang out with people who play polo, then maybe you'll learn how to ride a horse and play polo. But I don't think we're born into that, are we? So the point is, everyone has their associations. And so Krishna consciousness is like a disease, but it's a very, very, very good disease. It's a disease that cures all other diseases. Hridrogam ashvapanachedadida. So if we want to get free from all material problems, then we have to associate with the devotees of Krishna. And by their association, one will become cleansed in one's heart, cleansed in one's consciousness, and will become infected with thought of Krishna. Because remembrance of Krishna is the essence of all spiritual and religious aspiration. Like this whole world, some people become intelligent, or they become very religious, or they become, they control their senses. So, punas chavita chavananam, that this whole material existence is going on because of uncontrolled senses. We allow our senses to do what they want, and then we have to suffer the consequences. Just like if you try to enjoy anything in this material world overly, then there's a problem, isn't it? Causes problem. So Krishna says you have to be balanced in your recreation. So everything in the material world is actually not very good because we are spirit, and the whole process of Krishna consciousness or Bhakti Yoga is to transform the material into spiritual. Just like this building, it wasn't built by the people who built it. They didn't think it would be a temple of Krishna in the building, did they, when they built it? But now it's a temple of Krishna. So we've transformed this material thing into a spiritual thing. So it's the same with everything. Your home, your body, your wage packet. How will I transform my money into Krishna consciousness? Well, first of all, I'm going to buy some flowers. I'm going to maybe buy a piece of furniture and put an altar on it. That's one idea. And then my regular money, I'm going to help to spread Krishna consciousness with it. Or I'm going to donate to the temple or such forth. So you can spiritualize all part of your existence. So sometimes you see devotees, they practice Krishna consciousness, they put on big tilak, dhoti and everything, they go to the temple, but they don't give 1 penny from their bank account to Krishna activities, you see. They want everyone to see that they're big devotees, but they don't give any money to their guru or to Krishna. So we shouldn't be like that. Very important. We have to give. Actually, the way to purify wealth is by giving it in charity. So, Bhakti Yoga, what is that? Nice Kamya, what is that? To transform everything? What do we say? Yukta? What's that other? Vairagya. Anasaktasya visayan yata upajantate. Yes. Anasaktasya visayan. So everything in this world belongs to Krishna. He's the creator and the owner of everything, and he's the friend. Suridam, he's your best friend. Krishna lives in your heart. Poppy, where does Krishna live?
In your heart.
I'm so glad you're listening. So Krishna, he's the supreme being and he lives in your heart, he's your best friend. And if you ever have any problem in life, all you have to do is speak to Krishna. Because he's right there. And he is always very attentive to the living being. Living being is very intimate with Krishna. But we think Krishna is very far away. In the Upanishad it said Krishna is very far away, but he's also near to all simultaneously. So Krishna, he overrides all contradictions. What's that? He transforms, or he resolves all contradictions. So he's the greatest, but he's also the smallest because he can live within the atom. So in this way, Krishna is to be understood, and by associating with devotees, we can learn about Krishna and begin to think of him always and transform our existence. Because trying to enjoy this material world in either a religious way or an irreligious way is a big mistake. Because enjoyment, like I said, main enjoyment we have in life is every day we eat. Some people eat 2 meals a day, some people eat 3. So when you eat, you actually enjoy life. And if you eat with your family and friends, this is enjoyment. In the continent, in Europe, they're very good at eating with their families. In England, not so much. So all this is enjoyment. You don't have to go out and try to have sinful enjoyment. Why bother? It's only going to cause you misery. Just live nice life, enjoy eating, and chant Hare Krishna.
But
So,
if I have, I'm sorry.
sorry.
If I have good appetite, if I eat, I know it is enough, but not enough for me. Because,
You want to eat more? Be careful, get diabetes.
No, I'm careful. With
I know,
it.
you'll be careful.
Yeah.
So material, see, we're under strict laws of material nature. You eat too much, you get diabetes. You don't eat enough, you get TB. Yes, that's correct. Who said that? That's correct.
What if you
Prabhupada
don't-
says that in the purple.
What you get if you don't eat too much?
Tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis if you're
If you don't eat
malnourished.
enough, you get tuberculosis.
If you're malnourished, yeah.
So everyone thinks they're the big enjoyer, right?
Yeah.
So especially the teenager, 17, 16-year-old boys and girls, they're so full of material desires to enjoy. And they think they're going to be enjoyment and be happy. So our mind concocts so many enjoyments. We want to be top of our career, we want to be the best sportsman, we want to be big enjoyer of this one or that one, we go into this holiday, we're going to and live in this house, we're going to visit this country. Our mind is constantly full of ideas, but they're all just imagination. They don't actually bring you any satisfaction. You can never be satisfied until you meet Krishna in the heart. So the way of meeting Krishna in the heart is by all these things I said, this yukta vairagya. How to transform everything, spiritualize everything in your life. And the most important thing you have to spiritualize is your sound vibration, and you have to spiritualize it by chanting this Krishna's names. This is Bhagavad Dharma. Bhagavad Dharma is the most wonderful and important and goal of all knowledge and all religious is to get this Bhagavad Dharma. So in this age, Bhagavad Dharma has been made very ridiculously easy. Goloka Prema Dana, Harinam Sankirtan. All you have to do to purify your heart is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So you see where we're singing Hare Krishna, you see that? So we also chant individually, quietly on our beads, the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is, this is all you need to do to satisfy all your requirements. You see, God, He kind of wants you to be grateful to Him because He's giving you everything. The air you breathe, the lungs you use to breathe the air. He's given all these wonderful things to us. And the basic, the essence is to be grateful to Him and grow in relationship with Him by thinking of Him and chanting His holy name. So this is some of the ideas of this Bhagavad Gita verse. And perhaps we could have some questions from the devotees or some comments or some topics.
Thank you, Guru. What do we have then from the assembled devotees? Any questions on what you've just heard? Or would you like to share anything?
Poppy, you're first, you're the guest.
And how she goes to.
It's fine.
It's
fine.
It's fine.
Hare Krishna, you okay?
They know what to say.
That's all right, you don't have to ask a question. Someone else can ask one, break the ice.
This isn't a very philosophical comment, it's just that, you know when you were mentioning the birds that fly in front of your car in sunset? I've experienced the same thing at the park when I drive down the drive. The two green woodpeckers, they fly alongside the car, and it's such a fantastic thing because you see them just enjoying themselves, and it's like, wow, and then they just fly off as you drive in, and it's just such a wonderful experience.
They're there every day or just sometimes?
No, just occasionally.
That's far out.
But it's so nice because they fly together as well. It's so good. Sorry, it wasn't very philosophical.
Ananda.
You carry your different conceptions from life
Yeah.
to life. So, can you explain why at certain points you have a taste for a certain thing and then later on you have a taste for something else? Are those conceptions carried from previous lives?
Yes, or they have developed by association in this life. So by good association, one can lose his taste for lower things and get a taste for higher things. Generally, once we get older, we don't get a sudden, well, it can happen, you get a sudden urge to do some new activity that you've never done before, perhaps.
Midlife crisis.
Well, generally you try and go back to your teenage life and your midlife crisis, you know. You know, the 50-year-old man, he leaves his wife, buys a pair of tight jeans and a sports car, and he has enough money to get a 25-year-old, you know, girlfriend, and he tries to enjoy. This is punas chabita chabinanam, chewing the chewed. So I saw this video, the Rolling Stones. They're like the most famous band in the whole world. Now they're in their 80s with their hair transplants, still singing the same songs they've been singing for 50 years. And it's like chewing the chewed. It's like when you go to a rock, I mean, they were brilliant back in the 60s and 70s, but you know, when you go to a rock concert or even a football match and you got all them thousands of people, it's not that brilliant. They had to kind of like force themselves to think they're enjoying, but I mean, it's not really that great, is it? After the first song and that, it's like, oh gosh, you know, but because you paid the ticket, you have to. So we're actually pretending, we're forcing ourselves to try to enjoy. How much enjoyment is there in the pub after 2 pints? I mean, really, is it that great? So all the material enjoyments in the modern world, they're all sinful mainly. Intoxication, gambling, illicit sex, and what's the other one? Meat eating abominable things. So all these things are actually unpleasant. But just by association with the modes, we've taken them to be nice. But it's an illusion. The more you control your senses, the more you become happy. Because then you can remember Krishna and be peaceful. Shantim jnanam richati. You get this from transcendental knowledge. And another thing that happens is, sometimes the devotees, they think, oh, we're too fanatic, we're too religious, we're too hardcore, we're in a bubble, we're too irrelevant to people. Let me go and do some charity work, help the local youth, or help the local community, or join some movement. But that's all in the modes. That's also a big mistake. You have to stay with this thing, because it's the only thing that's going to take the heart out of the three modes of nature into the spiritual platform. And that's the only thing that can satisfy you. You can never be satisfied until you get to this platform of Bhagavad Dharma. Sabai punso paro dharmo yato bhakti adoksuje ahoitaki pratihata yayatma supersidity. Supersidity means satisfaction. Unmotivated. So anyone who's intelligent, spiritual life, religious life begins when you practice unmotivated. You don't do it for any reason but to glorify Krishna. Because in the spiritual world there are no reasons, because you've got no problems. So why everyone goes on they're all suffering, right? They go on retreats and they need a break, and they go on some spiritual retreat or Ayurvedic retreat, or they do something because they're suffering. Then they come back to try to enjoy the same old thing again. But in spiritual life, your everyday is a retreat. You're free from the material world because your consciousness is developed. Forgot what I was going to say, but
You spoke about ignorance and passion,
am I talking
but
about?
what about goodness?
What about goodness? Yeah, goodness means knowledge, and goodness means to understand that when I leave this body, I'm still alive, and I'm going to get my karma. So goodness means to believe in the afterlife and to start practicing good things to attract good things. Like attracts like. So if you try to exploit someone, or you're unfriendly to your neighbors, all these things, then you're going to get a reaction. So goodness means to be peaceful, to be intelligent, to be wise, to be knowledgeable, to be simple, to be clean, like this.
Simple.
What did I say?
This is simple.
No, simple.
How?
Or simple.
Simple.
Simple, simple,
Simple.
simple. I'll take you on in a minute. Simple, yeah, simplicity. You know?
He's getting old, he needs a hearing aid.
Yeah, we all are.
Until body.
So this idea of us being the enjoyer is a big mistake. This is, yes,
I have a question on being an enjoyer.
yes,
Is it okay to enjoy your Krishna consciousness?
very much. This is the intelligent way to enjoy. So, you know, when we're with devotees, and when we're in kirtan, we should be here, you know, we should, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, never the past, never the future dream at all, nor, forgotten it. Anyway, basically, forget the past, forget the future, act in times that are with thee, and then you will progress. So always appreciate that when you're with devotees, then you've conquered over the kingdom of Maya. The illusory energy is far away, and that's the moment where you've got to appreciate it, take advantage of it. You know what it's like, right? You go out away from devotees, you're surrounded by non-devotees, and then you're at work, or you know. So when you're with devotees, then you've got to capitalize by being fully enthusiastic. Force yourself to be enthusiastic. If you're not feeling enthusiastic, you know, just, you know, really go for it. Appreciate every moment, because that's your victory. So the more you enjoy the association of devotees, kirtan, prasadam, when you've got time to read and study and engage your intelligence, it's all enjoyable actually. What happens is we lose our taste sometimes for spiritual life due to our past contaminations come up. But that's also enjoyable, that pain, because you've got to go through it to get Krishna's mercy. So Krishna's right there with you, and sometimes he withdraws his mercy just so that you appreciate him more. So there's this constant battle, kind of a conflict between taste and no taste in Krishna consciousness, right? Sometimes you sit to chant and it's like, oh, this is fantastic. And next day you try and it's not there. So Krishna wants you to know that he's giving the taste. He wants you to know that, but we're so stupid. We think it's us and that we can adjust and do something and make it all right. No, we are dependent on Krishna's mercy 100%. The whole process to get Krishna's mercy. The yogis and the non-devotees and the spiritualists, they don't want Krishna's mercy. They want to try to do it by their own endeavor, but we just want Krishna's mercy. Because if Krishna gives you mercy, then you're yogi now. You're the best yogi immediately. So our whole process, just to get Krishna's mercy, just to satisfy Krishna, and then we'll be satisfied. We're not interested in our own, greatness or anything like that. We just want to satisfy Krishna. So Krishna tests us a lot, and that test will help us progress. If he doesn't test us, we wouldn't make any advancement. We'd think, oh, I'm great, everything's fine. So he withdraws the taste, makes us sad, and then we have to, again, take shelter of him. So this dynamic, that's the word I'm looking for, it's a dynamic. And that's how we progress, is all Krishna's mercy. So there are many tests to overcome in devotional service. Many tests. But that's what makes us spiritually strong. Because when we overcome the tests, we get spiritual strength and our faith deepens, get deeper and deeper and deeper. Yes, miss?
What is yogi?
Yoga means to connect with the Supreme or the Divine. So anyone who tries to do that in their own way is a yogi. So yoga, one translation of the word yoga is religion. Religion means to connect, a yogi. Yogi is one who practices yoga. Not this yoga, but the spiritual. He tries for spiritual meditation, etc., etc.
I really liked what you said of that lovely class. I really liked what you said about you're the happiest when you control your senses.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
Somehow that's why I was thinking, yoga for me is like physical activity, yoga.
That's hatha yoga. There's one
Pardon me?
hatha yoga. It's called one type of yoga.
Ah,
Yeah, physical yoga is also there, but there's a spiritual process behind the physical yoga as well. You have to control your senses, then control your breathing,
yeah.
and then you enter into meditation, and then chakra yoga. You manipulate the life air within the body. Stanga yoga. There's another system of, and you add devotion at the end, and then you can also go back to Godhead like this system. We do bhakti yoga, which is just about hearing and chanting about Krishna, but the Astanga yoga also ends up in meditation on Krishna,
Thank you.
ultimately. But it's very difficult to practice. 5,000 years ago, everyone knew the Astanga yoga process. It was normal. Everyone could do it. Mostly everywhere in ancient world, in India. But now it's impossible.
Anything more?
Impossible.
Is everybody peaceful?
So, did you learn a little something today then? I know we talked a lot. I talk a lot, that's my problem. But that's what they told me to do. But
I've just been sitting here taking everything in. And
yeah, good for you. So there's a lot of knowledge there, but basic idea is that we're spirit soul, and we live forever, and we're always individuals, and we're changing bodies life after life. But when we get very serious about wanting to go home to God, then there is a path for you there when you're ready for it. But even little steps you make towards it, just like coming here, that's for your eternal benefit. Yeah, it's in your bank account now. You came to the Hare Krishna program, you chanted, you ate with us soon, and you bought coffee and everything's good.
I'll get down to your bag and get my tablets.
Yeah, you go ahead and do what you need to do. No problem, no problem. We're gonna shake it up a bit anyway now.
I suffer from epilepsy and I
No problem. We've got all sorts of people like that.
My mum has diabetes.
Oh yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I leave
Thank you,
listen.
Prabhu. We've got our transcendental bard now,
Oh,
entertaining us with possibly a couple of poems. Okay.
Are we
So,
dancing?
he's gonna read some poems.
Adi,
We're gonna dance in a minute.
You want to sit on one of the chairs, Prabhu, and then
No.
my mantra can sit there.
I'll sit on the chair.
Can't move right now. I can only move once.
You can support me through it.
Don't be putting him on. Yeah, you stop tickling him or something.
I love poetry. I'll tell you some of my poetry.
Right, okay. So I've got a couple of poems for you. You may have heard at the end of the class we touched on karma briefly. So this one's about karma. So out walking one day, I met a young farmer. He thoughtfully asked me, "What's the meaning of karma?" Inspired by his job, I replied, "As you know, at each harvest time, you reap what you sow." I thought he was sated, but he said, "Please explain why some years my harvests are spoiled by the rain." I'm not a bad person. I'm kind to my mother. As it says in the Bible, I do unto others. I answered, "That's great, but our troubles and strife can be down to our actions in a previous life. Sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad. We are rewarded or punished for past good and bad. Let's say your milkmaid was hit by a tractor. Their karmic reactions would be the key factor. You need to be careful the Vedas tell how we get serious karma for killing a cow. So you should be wise and take care of Daisy, your prize-winning Frisian. You might find this crazy, but if in this lifetime you send her for slaughter, you may come back a cow and get slain by your daughter. I'm going home now. I wish you good luck. You can learn about karma by reading this book. I gave him a copy of Bhagavad Gita. If he reads it sincerely, his life will be sweeter.
Do we want another one?
Yes, please.
Do we want another one?
Thank you. So, has anyone heard of Enid Blyton or Noddy? Noddy and Big Ears? Well, this is a Krishna conscious version of Noddy. So, one day Big Ears said to Noddy, "Did you know we're not this body?" Noddy said, "If you prove that, I'll eat my funny little hat." Okay, said Big Ears. We say, my arm, my leg, my head. I'm with you so far, Noddy said. We sometimes say, my back is aching. I've changed my mind. My heart is aching. My this, my that. If we say my, it begs the question, who am I? We're spirit souls that last forever. Wow, said Noddy, that's jolly clever. I've never heard this stuff before, so please explain a little more. Righto, said Big Ears. Let's just say that PC Plod died whilst on his morning jog. Toy Town folk are bound to say that PC Plod has passed away. But he's lying there for all to see. So what's the difference between him and me? It's consciousness, the living force, that leaves this body in due course. Pervades the body as this force, the symptom of the soul, pervades the body as a whole. It takes off with a subtle mind and leaves this useless lump behind. Who are you calling a useless lump? Asked PC Plod. Noddy said, I'd like to know the reason for our joys and woe. We're sometimes happy, sometimes sad, experiencing good and bad. Said Big Ears, that's called karmic law. We've all got good and bad in store. If we do good, we get good back. If we do bad, we get some flack. But here's the thing, our karmic future'll be sweeter if we're karma neutral. Performing tasks just for God's sake, progress we can surely make. In the Gita it says, and these words are the Lord's, we reincarnate to collect our rewards for our good actions. Conversely for bad, we come back to get punished. Noddy looks sad. I don't want to come back for better or worse. It sounds like material acts are a curse that keep us tied down for infinite years. Oh, how do we go karma neutral, Big Ears? There are plenty of ways, but I'll share one or two. The main way is chanting. It's easy to do. Chant Hare Krishna, I'll give you some beads. And you'll purify your thoughts, words and deeds. Read Prabhupada's books. You can join us on Zoom. From Wednesday to Sunday, you'll soon start to bloom. Noddy sincerely did as suggested, and pretty soon, love of God manifested.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very instructive and very entertaining at the same time. Alright then, so we can move into the next part of the programme, so we can have all the chairs away in the cupboards and we can be standing for the final kirtan. Grandra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai, Prabhupada ki Jai, Shishi Paladin Singha ki Jai, Shishi Nitai Guru Sundar ki Jai. Jai.
Great.